Right, today we are going to work on changing repeating decimals to fractions. And before you were working with fractions and changing it to decimals. So before we had something, I don't know, like 2/3. And you changed it without a calculator. You changed it to 2 divided by 3. You put the decimal and a couple zeros. Then you put 3 into 2. Well, that doesn't work, but 3 into 20. 3 goes into 26 times, and that's 18. And that's 2. 3 into 20 is 6. No matter how many times you did this, you kept repeating. So this turned into 6/10 repeating. Well, we are now learning how to take a repeating decimal and change it to the fraction. So we're going to do 2 examples here, and then I'm going to probably do one with you. Oh, whoops, that didn't work very well. Close your eyes. Anyway, okay, so up here, hold on, I'm going to move this back. That's better. All right, so here's what we want to think about. We're going to when we started with just 4/10 repeating, we're going to call this n. We're just going to give this a letter like n equals this. Now what we want to do, this means that this is 4/10 repeating over and over again. Well, our goal is to get rid of this 4/10. And the way we can do that, the way you can make that zeros is if you subtract itself, if the same thing by itself. So in order to do that, since there's only one place underneath the repeating sign, we can multiply by 10n. If we multiply this number by 10, what it does, it moves the decimal. When you multiply by 10, this is when your decimal's going to the right one. It's moving it one place to the right. And so this is where we're getting 4 and 4/10. This is still 4 repeating all the way through. Now, what we're going to do with this is we're going to take 10n minus, there really should be a minus sign there, 10n minus, or 10n equals 4 and 4/10 repeating, minus our original, n minus 4/10 repeating. And when we subtract that, 10n minus n is 9n. And then 4 and 4/10 repeating minus 4/10 repeating. Well, this is the exact same when you're subtracting. That's really 0, so it's like saying 4 and 0.0. And then get n by itself. You're going to do n divide by 9, divide by 9. And this is how they're getting 4/9. Okay. Over here, the example 2, 4500ths. There's 2 places underneath the repeating sign. So we're actually going to multiply by 100 to get those 2 places to be a whole number. We're trying to get part of it to be the whole number here. And then when we line it up, 100n equals 45 and 4500ths minus our original 4500ths. This way we can get rid of the 45 repeating and get 45.00. But then to get n by itself, you're going to divide by 99. Now, technically, this can actually be simplified. If you look at it closely, what number goes into both of those? And hopefully you said 9. So this is going to be 5/11 when it's simplified down. Okay, yes, it's 45/99, but you can also simplify it down to 5/11. So if that happens, make sure you simplify it. So let's look at this first one. And I'm going to do it on this paper because I have it written underneath. So if our n equals 7/10 repeating, notice there's one place behind the decimal. So we're going to make 10n equals 7 and 7/10 repeating. We're going to follow these steps. Now we're going to take this new problem here, 10n equals 7 and 7/10 repeating, make sure you have a repeating sign, minus our original, because our goal is to get rid of the repeating. So we're going to have 9n equals 7, divide by 9, n equals 7/9. Now if you want to test it on a calculator, I'm okay with that. Go ahead if you want. Let me see if I can get my, if you want to test it on a calculator, 7 divided by 9. Now, my calculator rounded this last one. Do not think it divided all the way 7, 7, and all of a sudden 8 appears. It just rounded it, which it shouldn't round, but it did. But that is showing that 7/10 repeating. Okay. Now, let's do this next one. 3100ths. Now, you're writing this right on your paper. 3100ths, this is 2 places. So in 3100ths, in order to be 2 places, we're going to have 100n. The reason being is because I want 2 places. I want to move this whole 31 over here to as a whole number, but I'm still going to have it because this is saying 31, 31, 31. It's repeating over and over again, so it keeps going. Now, I can then take my 100 in, equals 31, and 31 repeating, minus n. I'm going to have my original, which is 3100. So I get 99 equals 31 over 99. Whoops, that's an n there. Now, 31/99, there is no number that goes into both of these, so that's simplified. You want to try it on your calculator, 31 divided by 99. Clear that. 31 divided by 99. Yep, 31, 31, 31, 31. Now, you're probably going to notice a pattern. As you complete these, you might notice a pattern. I do want to warn you, 5 and 6 can be simplified, but you're going to probably notice a pattern. If that's the case, I want you to try this. If you notice a pattern, tell me what that would be. Whoops, sorry, can't see it. Tell me what 234 repeating, all of those repeating, would be. See if you can notice how to do it without even have to do all this work. But that's how you change a repeating decimal to a fraction when they're all repeating like that.